Last night was great. Really fantastic postgame, but I am sad to say that we have a massive apology that we have to make, and we're going to do it right at the start of the show. So you're not going to want to miss this.
It's a Victory Friday here. Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by the one, the only long neck Larry himself. That is Erik Ruby. We got Captain Redbeard sailing this ship behind the Mac. He is making all of the magic happen. Guys, do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Look, if you were with us last night, we had an absolute banger of a post-game show, and the vibes are continuing here on today's program. So get yourself a drink, a snack, and buckle up, because we're talking about the only FBS team in the nation to start the season 3-0 as it stands right now. But before we get into everything else that we got to talk about today, and there's a lot of it, Erik, you wanted to make an apology?
I will not stand alone in this.
You will not stand alone.
Anthony Totri. But we have an apology that we have to make.
Okay.
We did a beautiful hour-long post-game show last night. We are going to continue to talk about ASU being 3-0. And I think we hit on just about everything last night. Except. From me to you, from us to you, Chamon Metayer, we're so sorry.
Yeah.
You should have been brought up in the first segment.
Yeah. We definitely needed to give him some love.
You had an incredible game. Your best game of the season. ASU doesn't win this game without you and your performance, your multiple grabs. I mean, there was a period of time where that offense was moving because of you.
Yeah.
So we owe you, Sun Devil Nation, Tempe, the world, an apology.
The world, yeah. Chamon Metayer, 5 catches, 57 yards for the Arizona State tight end.
Big yards for them.
Absolutely, some massive
catches.
When Sam Leavitt needed it most, right? There was a time where Texas State was doing a good job getting pressure, and Sam needed an outlet. Chamon Metayer happened to be that outlet a number of times. And he's been huge for this program really since he got here, right? This is a kid that transferred at the tail end of spring, so he wasn't really here. Wasn't here for spring ball. Got here in fall, worked his way up the depth chart, and has been a phenomenal addition for Arizona State in that tight end room. Obviously, along guys like a Cameron Harpole, and another one, Marcus and Douglas. Like, it's been phenomenal. And again, he had the second most catches, second most receiving yards behind Jordan Tyson in last night's win. Nice to see a tight end get involved, especially when you have so many weapons on the perimeter, right? Like a Melquan Stovall, Jake Smith, Xavier Guillory. That list kind of goes on and on. But it was massive, absolutely massive for Chamon Metayer, I think, to have the game that he did. And I think you expect him to do kind of similar things throughout the rest of at least Big 12 play when you get there, I would say.
Yeah. I feel like having that safety blanket for him it's massive.
For Sam. Yeah.
It's massive because it's not just, hey, a speedy, it's a big dude, right? And honestly, it's somebody that when you have the weapons that you have in a Jordan Tyson and a Jake Smith, Melquan Stovall, Xavier Guillory, sometimes the tight end can go unnoticed, especially because this team loves to run block a lot.
And he's not even really the run blocking tight end.
No, he's not. But when you have the tight end out there, and usually a tight end is the one who's blocking for you and has not been used a lot really this whole season, Texas State was letting them have it.
Yeah.
And he showed that he has the ability to make grabs when needed.
Yeah.
And that's all you can really ask out of him. But it wasn't just him.
No.
Right. He was a massive part of it, but there are so many different parts to this game that going back and watching the highlights, thinking about it, sitting on it, so many flowers that deserve to be handed out for that win.
Yeah.
We do have to talk about, though, and I know we don't have this in the rundown, we have to talk about Dilly postgame because we didn't get a chance to talk about that because we were doing a postgame, but I mean, that's our football coach, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're an Arizona State fan, man, enjoy it, man. We were talking in the Discord. There was somebody that was talking about, look, I love what I've seen from this team so far, but I don't want to get my hopes up because given the way Arizona State has started this season, I mean, depending on how the rest of the year goes, Kenny's going to get some calls from some other programs, maybe the league, whatever. Enjoy it, dude. I firmly believe Kenny Dillingham is here as long as this program wants him here. He is a Sun Devil through and through. Your athletic director, Graham Rossini, is a Sun Devil through and through. I don't see Kenny Dillingham going anywhere anytime soon, regardless of the position. He's talked about it time and again. This is his dream job. Mm-hmm. You don't just pick up and leave your dream job after 2 years. He's raising a family here. He wants to be here, and you're going to have him here. Arizona State fans, you found your Kyle Whittingham, your guy that's going to be here for 20 plus years as long as the program has success and as long as the program wants him. Kenny Dillingham is an Arizona State Sun Devil. That is not changing. We got Clint in the chat. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Quoting Kenny in his post game. We have Lewis Clark, not Lewis and Clark here. Short bus, obviously here. Joseph, Sam Levitt respects coin. And there's one other comment I do want to read. If we could scroll up just a tad. Yeah, Carson right there saying, so glad I found you guys to make this ASU season so much better.
We're glad that you're here, Carson. We're glad all of you are here. But Carson, glad that you are joining the fun that we have been having. Let's keep talking about Dilly. I know we're a little bit off topic here as far as whatever our rundown goes, but I feel like there are a couple things that we just have to address.
Yeah, let's do it.
Kenny Dillingham is not coming back to Tempe after the game.
Correct.
He is staying in Texas.
Correct.
Big Friday night for Texas high school football. Mm-hmm. Texas to Tempe pipeline is alive and well. Cooking. And he did tweet after the game. After a big-time night, we also got some great news. Great night to be a Sun Devil. Now time to hit the road in Texas. # Sun Devil for life. # activate the Valley. Dude doesn't stop. Right?
No.
And he completely understands what it takes to succeed and to build a program in this new era of college football. We talk about how much it's all changed. We talk about the coaches that are slacking. They're behind when it comes to all of this. Kenny Dillingham is not only ahead of the game, but he's embraced it. He wants it. He's like fiending for it.
Yeah, I mean, this was a perfect scenario, right? Because the whole Texas to Tempe pipeline stuff, the hashtag, all of it. It's for real. There's a lot of Texas high school football players that transition and play football now at the D1 level for Arizona State. Going on the road last night against a good football team in Texas State. If you know ball, you know Texas State is not a slump of a team. Then you understand how big that win was, but also for recruiting, right? Mm-hmm. To be able to go into Texas, all of the captains last night for Arizona State were Texas kids. That was on purpose. That's not accidental that Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham opted to do that. So it's massive for recruiting. And again, yeah, Kenny and I believe some of the assistants out doing some recruiting as well in Texas throughout the weekend.
And guess what? You have Texas Tech next.
Yeah.
So you're still in Texas.
Still in Texas.
And again, I know that a lot of people were not too thrilled about the home and home with Texas State and going on the road, especially on a short week. But you see the importance in this, right? Like, hey, short week against Texas State. You were the headliner as far as football games go last night. It wasn't Bills Dolphins.
No.
Like real ball knowers, real fans were like, why are you watching Bills Dolphins when Arizona State, Texas State?
And it was a much better game.
Much.
Like all the way through, it was a much better football game.
Much better game. And one last thing that I'll mention about Kenny, I've mentioned this a couple of times when talking about, oh, he's so good. Eventually he's going to get stolen. Someone's going to go make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's not happening.
Old job I worked at back when I was on the radio, we had Kenny in right after he got hired.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was posed to him, what happens when, your quote dream job school, this big school comes and offers you like this massive, massive deal to go somewhere, like ASU almost being a stepping stone in that sense. Like, what would you do? And he didn't even hesitate. It wasn't like he had to think about it. And I know that it wasn't fake. He goes, this is my dream job.
Yeah.
This is my dream job. He's like, I'm not going to want to leave.
Yeah, why? I mean, again, if you have your dream job, why would you want to leave? Why would you want to leave? Right? Especially when you're building something. You're building something where you grew up, where you saw, some highs for this program. You saw some lows when you were a GA. You've kind of bounced all over. Think about that, right? Kenny Dillingham has bounced all over the nation already doing college football, not as a head coach, but just as an OC, as a quarterback coach, analyst, whatever, right? Oregon, Florida State, Memphis. Like, he's been all over the map already, hit all the coasts. Like, he's back where it all started, and he wants to be here till the end. I do want to get to Noah's question a little bit. If we could, just go up a tad saying, you guys think there's any chance we get ranked next week? We talked about it a little bit on the postgame show last night. I think this is a team in Arizona State that certainly deserves AP top 25 votes. I think they are getting AP top 25 votes after the performance that we saw against Texas State, against, again, a really good football program. And depending on what happens on the back half of that AP top 25, I think there is certainly a chance. I wouldn't say that it's a foregone conclusion, though, that ASU sneaks into the AP top 25 this weekend.
Yeah.
However, you go out, you beat Texas Tech. I don't think it matters how you get it done. You beat Tech, you're in the AP top 25.
Absolutely. If you're 4-0, especially if you beat Tech in convincing fashion, there's no reason for you to be left out.
No, but they will get votes this week.
Yeah,
they absolutely will get votes this week.
Somebody mentioned they got votes in the coaches poll last week.
Yeah.
Just a couple. I mean, they will get votes this week. I don't think they're going to make it in.
Coaches no ball.
Yeah, coaches no ball. Coaches do no ball. And every opponent that we've heard from as far as media goes and whatnot have all shouted out Kenny and everything like that. So it's not just that this team is talented. It's not just that, they do a good job recruiting. They do a good job planning and utilizing these players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
to the max.
You talk about utilizing some of these players, right? Cam Skattebo is a guy that the nation is really fallen in love with. Obviously not new to Arizona State and Tempe. Tempe folks, you saw it last year, right? Even when Arizona State was in the thick of it, a 3-9 season, Cam Skattebo did everything in his power to put this team on his back. And he's done a lot of it already through this season. I believe 24 carries last night, 60-plus rushing yards. He had a rushing touchdown. Obviously, the biggest play of the game for him came on that last drive, getting a first down and kind of sealing the game. I know the last play with 1 second left, whatever, but Scat did everything in his power. And again, you wear down a defense when you run the football the way that Arizona State has over the last 2 games, right? Another game where Arizona State rushed the ball over 40 times. That is a lot. That is a lot of times to run the football. And then you look on the flip side, right? Texas State threw the ball 44 times. It shortens a game. It helps your offensive line kind of get in a rhythm. It helps your quarterback at a certain point open up the offense. So Cam Skattebo, the utilization of him has been something that I've loved to see. But we also saw Raleek Brown last night for the first time this season. Mm-hmm. Now, I know the numbers don't pop off, right? Just 2 carries, a yard. He had a catch as well. Don't be concerned with what you saw from Raleek. There is definitely going to be some opportunities for him throughout the season to have his statement games because he is a really, really talented running back in this running back room. And he is definitely going to make some noise when the right defense presents itself, and that could be as early as next week against a Texas Tech defense that's pretty much Swiss cheese at this point. Hunter in the chat, we got to start asking the hard questions. Who replaces Marcus Arroyo and Brian Ward when they inevitably get poached for a head coaching job? We'll address those questions when the time comes, but sure. I think, again, let's enjoy it. Like, if you're an ASU fan, man, right? Obviously, the coordinators have had themselves a phenomenal start to the season, but enjoy having those guys here because there's a lot of ball left, a lot of football left in the college football season this year. In Arizona State, one of the hottest teams in the nation. I don't think you can deny it. One of the hottest teams, 3-0. Kenny Dillingham has taken the nation by storm. People have fallen in love with Cam Skattebo. Sam Levitt, he put on a show last night against Texas State. Jordan Tyson, welcome back. And the defense continues to be one of the best defenses in the Big 12. And that kind of leads me where I want to go next here is the defensive adjustments that we saw from Brian Ward last night. We talked a little bit about it, but I don't think we did enough because Brian Ward, that defense all season long has been one of the best in the Big 12. It's been one of the best in the nation, point blank period, given the way that they have started a lot of new guys, a lot of new transfers, making some names for themselves, some guys that were Sun Devils last year really stepping up. Talk about a Keith Abney, Xavier Alford coming back. He finally gets his first giant play of the season, getting a pick last night. Shamari Simmons, the hit of the 2024 season thus far. But really, the story is Brian Ward being able to hold a high-powered Texas State offense to just 7 points in the second half. And I believe they held them to just 27 yards in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it last night. Like, it's kudos to the players, especially when you're down depth as well, for as the game goes on to tighten up and to actually be better, especially on the road against a team that showed that they could have success against your defense. I mean, they were moving the ball. And you know what? They still had those chunk plays, and they were still able to move the ball relatively well in that second half, but it was that bend, don't break that we saw against Mississippi State, where ASU would make big plays, stop them from scoring, and eventually started forcing turnovers as well. Obviously, they end up with 3 turnovers. That last play isn't real. I'll never admit that it was real. They really just had 2 on the game.
Real.
It wasn't real. It wasn't real. We all know it wasn't real. No, they had 2 on the game and 2 in extremely timely moments where they were able to not only change momentum, but keep the momentum. And despite the offense not being able to capitalize, they don't win that game if they don't force the fumble and then, of course, the interception as well. And to be in a position where you were down and your back was against the wall and what you were doing is clearly not working in that first half, and to change and for your players to be able to adapt and to be able to execute in that way, in that sense, in that situation, it is not just deserving of flowers for Brian Ward, but unfortunately it is deserved of a lot of national attention. And I'm sure any smart football mind is looking at what's going on at Arizona State University and saying, wow, that defense is playing great. Wow, I love the play calling from Arroyo. How can we get one of those guys? Now, back to that point, though, I do believe that there's a chance. And I'm not going to go out there and say there's no way they leave, right? That's just not really how the world works. They call, somebody comes knocking for a head coach opportunity. A lot of the time, somebody's going to take that. However, with how community and relationship-based Kenny is and all these coaches and how well they all get along, I do have a feeling they're going to be able to hold on to them a little bit longer than maybe another program. I don't think it's going to be a forever thing, because usually when you keep coordinators like that, it's because you're in waiting to become the head coach here. Head coaching is not going to be a vacancy that's coming up for this football program for quite some time. Yeah. So eventually, I don't think you keep them forever, but I do think you keep them longer than some people think because of what's going on as far as relationship building here. And I'm sure that ASU is preparing financially to make it more interesting for them to stay.
Yeah, I mean, and that helps, right? When you have Graham Rossini as your athletic director, right? Like, obviously a change in the athletic department. And it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Brian Ward, I believe, signed a 3-year extension last season at a certain point. There were rumors that USC was going to try and poach him after obviously having one of the worst defenses in college football. And he stayed, right? He stayed. This is just because they're producing now. It doesn't mean people didn't see what Brian Ward's defense was capable of last season. And again, Brian Ward's been a defensive coordinator for a long time now, really bouncing all over college football. Previous stop at Washington State, bringing along with him A.J. Cooper, the linebacker coach. So again, when you have assistants doing what they're doing, again, you're bound to lose them at a certain point. If that is the case, people are going to want to be here. People are going to want to play under Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. And when people want to play, people are going to want to coach and do the same thing. So it's Arizona State, again, as long as Kenny's at the helm, this program is going to prove, I think, that they're going to be just fine, because all great head coaches have lost great assistants.
Yeah. I mean, what happened when you lost Rashad Samples?
Yeah. I mean, you went and got Hines Ward, which has been great, which has been absolutely phenomenal to this point. Obviously, still the chat's going crazy, so we'll definitely get into some of those questions and all of that fun stuff. But first, we are going to take a quick break so that I can tell you about our friends over at Sanderson Ford. Guys, PHNX is proud to have Sanderson Ford as our official vehicle partner, and Sanderson Ford is giving you big payoffs like 0% financing on a bunch of new vehicles, including the 2024 F-150, the Escape, the Edge, the Explorer, and Expeditions. If you've never been to the Sanderson Ford location, well, look, it is one of the largest, if not the largest, Ford dealership in the nation. 65-acre facility full of your one-stop shop for getting the perfect vehicle to match your vibe, to make you look like you just should put on some sunglasses and cruise down the highway. They got everything you need for me, what stands out the most about our friends over at Sanderson Ford is that customer service. You can guarantee when you go look for a vehicle at Sanderson Ford, they're going to have someone on top of it to make sure you've got a great deal and you got the perfect car that suits your needs. Shop the Sanderson Ford playoff payoff sale with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Guys, football is back, and so are the deals at Arizona's largest Ford dealership, Sanderson Ford. See dealer for details.
Listen, if you were tuning into our postgame last night, which if you did it and you missed it, you should absolutely go back and watch it. It was fantastic. Of course, I was rocking my branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel, not only partners with us, but partners with Arizona State University. They got snapbacks, truckers, fitted, beanies, and tees. Branded Bills has you covered with not only performance, but style as well. The most comfortable hat I've ever owned.
They're really comfy.
It is really, really nice. Not only are they partners with ASU, but they are local. They are a company from Mesa, Arizona, and we love supporting our local companies here as we are a local company. And they have all your favorite teams and everything. We're going to be getting some PHNX gear, and you can get some of your own brand on your branded Bills if you're looking to up your own apparel game, whether you own a company or maybe it's a fantasy football league, whatever it is that you're trying to represent. Branded Bills is there to help you out. And on top of all of that, you can get some money off. All you have to do is head to brandedbills.com, use code PHNX for 20% off your first order.
Yeah, Hunter in the chat, I think both coordinators are in a great situation in Tempe. They have the luxury of being able to wait for the right opportunity. Absolutely. Look, when these guys were hired, right, specifically talking about Brian Ward, some of the other assistants, these were guys that wanted to be in Tempe, right? Ties to the state of Arizona. So that goes a long way in trying to retain some of these guys, something that I think gets glossed over when we're talking about sports a lot when it comes to both coaches moving on and players hitting the portal, is guys don't want to uproot their lives usually unless they have to, right? People don't want to move all the way across the nation to wherever when you have a home in Tempe, Arizona, or Scottsdale, Arizona. It's beautiful here 90% of the year, right? You've got a football program on the up and up. Basketball is going to be super, super exciting. This program has people now at the helm that can take it to new heights in college sports. It's not going to be, this place is desirable now. It's desirable now, and that's going to mean something long term as well. JJ in the chat, anybody know what our updated over-under win-loss is for the season? Kind of sets us up perfectly because I want to get into the expectation changes. And if there are any expectations now that this team has started off 3-0, and we'll do that. But Clint in the chat, got to give him some love. At least I can say I was here before everyone jumped on the bandwagon. Clint is an Oregon State Beavers fan who has been in this chat since I as far back as I can remember doing this show for a few years now. I literally, I don't know, but Clint has always been here. It's been awesome. Short Bus in the chat, hit that like button. We love Short Bus. Phenomenal comedian as well. If you guys haven't seen him, go check him out on Instagram as well. Alex, back in for a live session.
Yes,
absolutely.
sir.
Love to have you here. But let's go ahead. Let's get into the expectations, Erik, because this team is now 3-0. I said it on a Sun Devil Spaces with Ralph. There's a real shot that this team could start the season 4-0. This is before the season even started, given kind of where everything lined up. And now you've set yourself up perfectly to get healthy with now 8 days, I believe, before the Sun Devils have another road game against Texas Tech. Texas Tech obviously has to play on Saturday. The Sun Devils can spend some time getting healthy. But where are the expectations now after a 3-0 start? And you've kind of done it in every way possible, right? You went out, you absolutely bounced Wyoming on their heads, beat them by 40+. Week 2, made program history, got your first SEC win. With obviously Kenny at the helm. You started quick. Mississippi State tried to fight back, but you held them off. And then Texas State, a real back and forth, one of the best college football games, I think, to date this season. And you came out on top against a really good team. So where do things change? Because we both started the season with expectations of this is a team that between 5 and 7 wins is what I said for a while. 5 to 7 wins, 6 would be amazing. Now you're 3-0.
I mean, the expectation is a bowl game floor.
Bowl game's the floor.
Yeah. If you don't make a bowl game this year, that's a disappointment now. It's no longer this team can make a bowl game, is good enough to make a bowl game, and that would be a successful season, right? And it was hard. I think we were both really high on this team going into the season, but we just thought that it would take a little bit more time, right? They'd be competitive in this games, but we don't know if they would go out and actually be able to pull out those wins.
Yeah.
Despite being better, playing better, coaching better, and having more talent. But now that you've shown that they know how to win, they know how to, pull out either a game from behind against Texas State, a bend don't break like Mississippi State, or you blow somebody out like Wyoming. You should go into every single week thinking you can win that game.
Yeah.
Now, am I going to say they're going to go undefeated? No, but their internal expectations,
Yeah, it'd be cool.
The internal expectations.
We even got Captain Redbeard smiling behind the back on that one.
What they expect from themselves internally should be every single game walking in and feeling like you can win that game.
Yeah.
And from national perspective, you're looking at a bowl game floor, a team that's going to compete every week. And if they make it into the top 25, the expectations continue to shift and grow. I don't think we're done and can just place what the expectations are on this team now. Because after they play Texas Tech, if they win that game, expectations shift.
Yeah.
Then it's a bye week. Everybody could talk themselves into Arizona State as they go and they play Kansas. They beat Kansas, expectations shift. This is a team where the expectations just be get better every week. But you're already 3-0.
Yeah.
You're already getting better every week. You're already meeting those expectations. They'll continue to rise and rise and rise as long as they meet them. And so far, they have over-exceeded expectations through 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, you're a quarter of the way done with the college football season, and Arizona State hasn't lost. They've matched their win total from all of last year. Some of the comments in the chat, BC says 10 wins. That would obviously be electric. Short Bus in the chat, bring the cup home is all I care about. Obviously talking about the Territorial Cup. That'll be an interesting game as the season carries on. Hunter in the chat, 10 wins very well could mean at-large college football playoff talks. I mean, we'll see. And then Zachary in the chat, I once thought the ceiling was 5-6 wins. I believe the ceiling now is 7-8 wins. That ceiling can now move higher depending on the next few years.
I'm not comfortable putting a ceiling on this season because we just don't know how good they're going to be.
Yeah, I want to see him against. I want to see him against a top 3 Big 12 team.
Yeah,
I want to see him do that.
You have arguably been missing your top defensive player all season.
Yeah, your best pass
Prince
rusher.
Dorba.
Yeah, and arguably one of your best offensive linemen is Sean Na as well.
Your defensive line is not nearly as healthy as it could be. Yeah. Right? And you have so much time between now and Texas Tech, and then you have a bye week, and then you play Kansas. You're looking at when you play Kansas being way healthier than when you play Texas State.
You could be 100% healthy going into that game.
Yeah, and if not, probably against Utah, you will be.
Yeah.
I mean, again, 100% healthy, you never really are in football.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
really
right. And I'll be honest, and I'll put it in the Discord a little bit later. I've already had some conversations with some players this morning that are trending to play in the right direction, given health status over the last couple weeks. So I'll definitely drop that in the Die Hard Discord so you guys kind of know where we stand on some of those things. But yeah, I think, again, 5 to 7 wins was the benchmark. I think at this point, we talked a little bit about it last night. There are certainly 3 more winnable games on this schedule. I think when you talk about that, it was they're going to beat the worst of the worst on their schedule. But now you're talking about a team in Arizona State that should be favored in some of these more evenly matched games. Arizona State, I think, should be favored against Texas Tech.
Oh, if they're not favored, I mean, Texas is a worse team than Texas State.
They'll be, yeah. I mean, defensively for sure. They will be favored against BYU. They'll be favored against Cincinnati. And I'm interested to see what a line looks like against the Wildcats. But you've got Kansas, who's trending downward.
Right.
You've got Utah. The health of Cam Rising is questionable. The Oklahoma State game will be an interesting one because that one's in Stillwater. It's on the road. That could very well be the game for Arizona State. And again, this is a big jump ahead. But Arizona State, I think, right, in a realistic yet perfect scenario, if that makes sense, you could be looking at an Arizona State team that is heading into that Oklahoma State game with 1 loss.
Being to Utah.
Being to Utah, likely, again, depending on Cam Rising. I wouldn't say that's stretching it. I would say that is you played perfect, but you're still teetering reality at this point. You go into Stillwater with a massive, massive game. That could be a game that down the line, end of the season, we're talking that was the game that either is pushing Arizona State into the Big 12 title game, or holding them back.
Yeah.
And again, we're talking perfect scenario here.
Okay, but we talked perfect scenario at the start of the season. The perfect scenario was starting 3-0.
Yeah,
you're right.
Not
Not only
fair.
have they started 3-0, but they have done it in a fashion that has almost been more confidence inspiring than what we said the perfect scenario would be. Now you're going up against Texas Tech. You should be favored against Texas Tech. Let's say hypothetically they beat Texas Tech. Okay?
On the road.
On the road. Second road game. Undefeated on the season, right?
Yeah.
First Big 12 game in conference in history. You beat Texas Tech. Okay? Bye week. Depending on what Kansas looks like over the next couple of weeks, you could be favored against Kansas.
Who does Kansas? This is what I want to know. I want to know who Kansas has after Arizona State. I want to see.
So Kansas takes on UNLV today.
Okay.
West Virginia next week,
and then
TCU, and then Arizona State,
and
then they have a bye.
Arizona State's the toughest team that Kansas faces for the next month.
Until they face Kansas State in October 26th.
Yeah.
Because they have a bye right after ASU.
They have a bye after Arizona State. They don't have a bye, though, in between.
No, they don't. No, they're playing back-to-back UNLV, West Virginia, TCU.
Kansas is going to be gasping for that bye week. And if Arizona State beats Tech, then they come home after that bye week. I mean, this is a team, Arizona State, you beat Tech. You're in the AP top 25. Tempe is going to be absolute. Yeah. They're going to be rocking. You're going to have literally that stadium is going to be packed. And you are going to have a Kansas team that is desperately trying to get to the bye week, I think, from a health perspective. Yeah.
Listen, you could have a team that, hasn't played at home in a month.
Yeah.
Is undefeated. Massive wins. AP top 25. Players continue to get better. And you might be taking on a Kansas team that's on that downward slide.
Yeah.
A Kansas team that a lot of people predicted to be a top 5 team in this conference.
Yeah.
Right?
I still think they are.
They can be.
They can. I think they have the talent.
I think let's see. I mean, UNLV, we'll see. But let's see how they do against West Virginia and TCU. Because those are two teams they should beat.
Those are two teams they should beat on the road, though. On the road.
But if they don't, no, Kansas hosts against TCU.
No, not against West Virginia, though.
Not against West Virginia. They're on the road against West Virginia. They host TCU. If you go into this game and Kansas has lost 2 out of their next 3 games, I think there's no debating that Arizona State, if they beat Tech, is clearly above them in the Big 12 hierarchy.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. Will in the chat, dare I say that Utah versus ASU could be a top 20 matchup between 2 5-0 teams?
It could be.
It could be, dude.
And this is not even like,
that's crazy.
It's not even like,
that's
let's
wild.
not jinx it, right? It's not
Jinx
about.
don't exist, dog. The last 2 weeks, we literally have said in the chat and on the shows that this team is going to beat Mississippi State, that this team is going to beat Texas State. Shout out us for being undefeated in our picks so far.
Facts.
Jinx, they don't exist, okay? They just don't. But again, it is going to be the jinx that does exist is when we do the PHNX Plays EA Sports College Football 25 simulations. Arizona State has lost all 3 of those simulations. Captain Redbeard has been behind the Mac watching those games as we've been kind of reacting to them. They've been painful to do, but knowing that Arizona State is 0-3 in those simulations, but 3-0 in real life makes me feel like those simulations do kind of determine how the game goes.
Yeah. So let's hope maybe simulate it a couple times until they lose and just post that one. But I think it's really fun that we could actually talk about this stuff happening and we're not going to get called crazy, right? I mean,
they're still going to be like flame insurance in there saying the team goes 5-7.
If they go 5-7 this year, like if they only win 2 more games, I mean, seriously, let's look at ASU's schedule right now. They should beat Tech. They could beat Kansas. Let's just say Utah is a loss, right? Let's say first loss of the season. They absolutely should beat Cincinnati.
Let's just, for the sake of this argument, let's go ahead. All the games that would be a 50-50, give to the other team.
Sure.
Okay.
Tech, ASU wins.
ASU wins.
Are we then giving Kansas a win?
I'm giving Kansas the win.
Okay, so we'll give Kansas a win. We'll give Utah a win, right?
Yep. Just again, for the sake of this argument.
Cincinnati, ASU wins that game.
Yes, so there's 5 wins.
So at that point, you're 5. Oklahoma State, we'll give it to Oklahoma State.
Sure.
UCF?
I'll give it to UCF.
UCF. Okay. Kansas State?
Give it to Kansas State.
BYU, it's clearly ASU.
It's ASU.
So that's 6 wins.
That's 6 wins.
And then
worst
Arizona.
case.
And then Arizona, you would give it to Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, based off of
if we are just giving it to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I don't see that happening. No. I don't see Arizona State only pulling out at this point a few more wins. This is a team that's hungry. And that we said it at the start of camp. We saw it when we started to see some of these transfers come in. Don't let Kenny cook on the field, because he already been cooking in the portal, already been cooking in the in recruiting. You telling me he was able to do all this in year 2 after a 3-9 season? Just wait and see what happens if this team hits 7-8 wins in the year. That is gonna be dangerous. Gonna be dangerous because you got a young, fiery coaching staff that is hungry to bring a lot of talent to Tempe. And look, they're on the road doing it right now, less than 24 hours after the most stressful win of the season, man. Like, this is going to be a dangerous program, not a team, because a team, it gives the idea that this is just a one and done. No. This is going to be a dangerous program.
Yeah.
With the way that Kenny has this thing going.
Well, this isn't built like Colorado, right? This isn't.
Yep.
It's not.
No, it's not. Colorado is a house of cards.
Colorado's built for the moment.
It's not even built for the moment.
No, but I'm not saying that they're built right, but they're built for this moment. They're built to capitalize on this moment, right? From a national identity perspective, from a gameplay perspective, as far as even just the talent that they have and the way that they've been recruiting, they are built for this season.
Yeah.
Right? That's not working out for them. But they are built for this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Arizona State University not only is having a better moment, a better current than Colorado, but if you look at the future, they are set up beautifully.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautifully. Because you're right. Look at how he's cooked. I mean, listen, we are here 5 days a week, even during the off season. Okay, we know exactly what's going on when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to high school players, when it comes to the transfer portal, when it comes to what this team is building and what this program is building from a financial perspective, from a player perspective, from a coach perspective.
Yeah.
We've seen it all. We've talked about it all. Our diehards have seen it all. They know it all. None of what's happening here is pointing towards this season being a one and done fluke miracle and you move on. No. What's going on here is sustainable. This is the foundation. This isn't even the building yet.
Yeah.
This is just the foundation. And if this early it's getting flipped, turned around, and already being successful, again, 3 wins last season, 3 wins this season.
Yeah.
You are in the middle of September. It is Friday, September 13th, and it's getting spooky for the rest of the Big 12.
I love it.
Because of what's going on here. Again, oh, who's going to be quarterback after Sam Leavitt? Not worried. What are you going to do when you lose some of your top end talent? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So by the time that Sam Leavitt, which I'm not worried about him leaving. I'm not worried about him leaving in the transfer portal. I'm not worried about Sam Leavitt wanting to leave Kenny Dillingham and the Sun Devils. No. Not worried at all. But beyond that, 2-3 years from now, oh, who's next? I have no worries. If anything, I expect this program to continue to rise. I expect this program to be a team that doesn't just surprise people at the beginning of the season. It becomes an expectation.
Yeah.
The same way that expectations have shifted currently, I expect for the next season and the season after that and the season after that, that preseason ranking is going to go up and up and up and up until they get where Kenny wants to be. And that's at the very top.
Yeah, no, look, at the one thing that, and we'll get into some more of the comments real quick. Short bus in the chat, Poly commit on the line. Clay Taylor, big commit incoming. Chris Cartman tweeted, again, does a phenomenal job for 27/7 Sports, tweeted earlier saying that the Poly pipeline at Tempe is about to get bigger, stronger, and longer. Whether that be tonight or over the next couple days, definitely should expect to see another commit for Arizona State, which again just kind of goes to show what this staff is all about. It's absolutely massive, and in terms of what this program can be, it's just getting started. It's absolutely just getting started. Robbie in the chat asking again, if Kenny does what you say, will ASU have the money to keep him getting poached? We talked a little bit about it already earlier in the show, so definitely go back, check that out. Neither one of us believe that he's gone. And again, paint the picture, right? What is what's your dream, Kyle, or not Kyle? Sorry, what is your dream?
I know, Erik? We have the same beard.
I know, same exact beard.
Yeah.
What is like your dream job, your dream place to live?
I feel like I'm living the dream, bud.
You're living the dream.
I mean, I've always wanted to do some sort of sports talk, some sort of sports podcasting, and I'm born and raised here. So, I love these teams.
And assuming like let's say you have the conversation, right, with upper management where they're like, hey, what's it going to take to keep you here, right? And they give you it. They give you that amount of money. Why would you? Why would you?
And if you worry about having the money to keep Kenny, listen, if this football program becomes what we think he can build, their money won't be a problem. No. Money won't be a problem. Money has already done a 180 since Ray Anderson left.
Yeah.
Like the Sun Angel Collective, all of NIL, the infrastructure around the athletic department. Listen, I'll give Michael Crow credit. And that's not something that you hear often on a ASU sports podcast, but I will give Michael Crow credit. They have restructured this athletic department to set up beautifully, not only for football, but for basketball. And within this year, we have seen. Why are you laughing?
Because Will's comment. Will, that's funny.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. That is funny. But what we've seen is that even in the short amount of time, once they've had a better perspective on how to run this athletic department from a financial standpoint and from an NIL standpoint, I have no worries that as long as Kenny Dillingham wants to be here, which I think is probably until he croaks, and as long as
he's 30 something,
dude. I mean, the first comment on our post game from last night after it went no longer live, so you can't do the live chat, was Kenny Dillingham is the new Frank Kush. Do you know how much that means to a guy like Kenny Dillingham? Mm-hmm. Do you know how much that means for somebody who bleeds ASU? We mentioned on our postgame show, we're going to have Todd Graham. We've already recorded it. That's going to be airing sometime soon.
We saw that graphic in there. We can throw up there.
Let's throw that up if we do have that, because Todd Graham will be joining the program very soon.
Yeah.
We talked to him already.
About 40 minutes.
He has some fantastic stories about Kenny. And when you hear that, listen, this guy's path to where he is today is a storybook. It's one of those. It's an ESPN 30 for 30 story,
and we're on chapter like 5,
right?
of an 80 chapter book.
This guy wants to stay.
Yeah,
this guy loves it here. He genuinely cares, and as long as he's successful here, his pay is only going to go up.
Yeah,
the love and the adoration is only going to go up, and the players that want to come here are only going to get better.
Facts.
He's gotten through what will hopefully be the lowest moment of his entire career.
That'd be nice.
And that was last season.
That'd be so nice.
I have no doubts that they will not hit that pit again.
Yeah. No, I agree. Look, there's a lot of people in the chat. Really, really appreciate you guys hopping in here. Again, whether you are watching live, you're watching back, listening on audio, we really do appreciate everybody taking some time to hop in here. Again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review. Erik brought it up earlier. We do this just about every single day of the week. Been on this show now for a few years. Talking about Arizona State. And we don't just talk football. Obviously, when basketball season rolls around, we do that as well.
All Arizona State athletics.
All of Arizona State athletics. I mean, part of our home football game coverage involves Arizona State softball player Kelsey Hall, one of, if not the best player on the team as well. So, again, PHNX Sun Devils, it's if you're just now finding out, welcome.
Yeah, it's a really fun time. And if you're just a Big 12 fan, right as this episode ends around 2:30 live on our YouTube channel, Anthony Totri and I, we recorded what I do is the Southwest Bias. It's a little show that I host here as well. We talked about Arizona, Kansas State, and what it means for Arizona if they just get mollywopped tonight. So make sure you go and you check that out as well. And I will say we are going to get into a segment that is beloved on this show. It does not have a lot to do with football. But of course, if you are here because of football and you're here because you love the Big 12, we talk about it every single day.
I want your opinions on the next segment.
Yeah, seriously. We're going to have some fun. That's also something that we do here. You know, we seriously care about this team and we take our coverage seriously, but we never take ourselves too seriously. We just like to have fun. Hopefully you want to come have some fun with us. And we're going to have so much fun on the other end of this break. But first, I must tell you about how we had a little fun during the game last night. I must admit, hand up, I had a neutral or two during the game.
Higher. Hand up higher.
I had a neutral or two during the game. I'll be honest with you, chat. I'll be honest with you, audio listeners. And let me tell you what. Their catchphrase, keeping it tasty in Tempe.
Rolls off the tongue.
Nothing's ever been truer. I'm talking real good. Simple ingredients. Vodka, seltzer, real juice. I don't like that fake stuff. Okay? Kane Dillingham, this program, they ain't fake. They're not artificial sweetener like Colorado. No. This is the real deal. They've got all sorts of flavors from pineapple, watermelon, black cherry, orange. Still have yet to get my hands on an orange one, and I am thrilled when I'm going to be able to do that.
The watermelon one's fire.
Yeah, I'm saying. Oh, dude, they're like I know people are like, oh, it's an ad read. No, they're so good. No, they're really genuinely good. So good, and nothing goes better with college football, with Arizona State football, than a neutral vodka seltzer. That's neutral, keeping it tasty. Enjoy responsible. An Anheuser-Busch product. Neutral's flavored vodka and carbonation out of St. Louis, Missouri.
I love it. I also love our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Guys, one thing to always remember at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, nobody does it better. They got 4 separate locations. My personal favorite, Wild Horse Pass. It's the closest to me, so it's super convenient to go. And you can go if you want to maybe turn it into a little date night, have dinner. They've got different options from casual to upscale. They've got it all, including several ways where you can leave a big winner. Go all in with over 4,500 slots and live table games, or catch all the action at any of their sports books. Obviously, the Arizona State Texas Tech game gonna be a big one for the Sun Devils. Get in on the action over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Check out their sports book, and we're gonna be hosting plenty of watch party events over there, so definitely stay tuned for that. Remember, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
Mentioned this last night as well. Not an event out at Gila, but out this Sunday at 10 a.m. We have a Cardinals tailgate, PHNX Cardinals chicken and pickle crossover. I will be there. Come have some fun. Chicken and pickle, fantastic time, fantastic food, fantastic people. It's going to be such a good time. Make sure you come out there. You can go to gophnx.com to get your ticket for that. It is going to be so much fun. Such an incredible time as we hopefully watch the Cardinals get their first win of the season as they host the Los Angeles Rams. So we've talked so much ASU Totri, but at the end of the week on Fridays, what do we like to do?
We love hot or not. But before we get hot or not, I do want to read infamous frontrunner's comment. As a Poke fan, all this realignment has supercharged the Big 12. There is a new vibe in the conference, and money is flying. Well, we've seen infamous frontrunner in here a couple times. Didn't know didn't know you weren't an ASU fan, but love to have you in here as well. But yes, hot or not, if you guys are new here, the last show of every week, usually it falls on a Friday, depends kind of on when ASU plays. Got a segment called Hot or Not. Captain Redbeard has 3 very random topics for us, and we just kind of go back and forth. Love to get input from the chat on if you think the topic is hot or not. Just like the name, sometimes these things can get a little heated. Sometimes we're in agreement. However, it's not often that we are in agreement for all 3 topics. So, Captain Redbeard, I will throw you on it.
Yeah,
I mean, just look at that.
Look at
Captain.
Him. Aye, Captain. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What do we got for topic number 1?
For number 1, as a beard owner and wearer myself.
A beard owner.
Hot or not, long beards. So like,
like lengthy.
Yeah, lengthy beards.
Your beard would not be considered long. It's just beard.
No.
Okay.
Yours is on. It's
getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
It could get there.
But what about my beard? Long or not?
Long or not? See it.
I can't see you with a long beard. Long beard, you rides a broomstick for sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh man, long beards. We're talking like Dumbledore level beard, right? We're going down.
Yeah.
I think it's hot.
Are we okay? We need to clarify. As somebody that would have a long beard, or just like looking at a long beard?
Looking at it.
Looking at a long beard. Oof. I mean,
I think they're hot. I think they're hot. I don't think they're as hot as just like a normal size beard like you guys, but I think it's hot because that's some dedication. Also, okay. Depends. Like, are you taking care of it? Like, is it long because it's healthy, or is it long because you haven't showered or cut your hair in 6 months? Like, there's a line here.
I don't like long beards. I'm gonna say not hot.
Okay.
I'm gonna say not hot. They look
I won't fight you on
gringy and they just look musty. Like long beards look musty at times, dude. Like
it depends on how they're taken care of.
But there's not a lot of long bearded individuals that like you look at them and you're like, yeah, that's well kept, right? 9 times out of 10, I feel like you see a long beard and you're like, it'd look better for everybody if you just went to the barber, got it lined up, and got it trimmed.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Sure.
Like, I mean, that's just
no, I'm gonna get angry.
Yeah. I mean, you got a naked face, so I feel like
I'll take any beard. To be honest with you.
How long do you think it would take you to grow a full beard?
Oh, dude, it would take a while. It would take a while.
How long's a while?
Dude, probably months. Probably months. Just because it's like here, if you want to just get like the sides to go here or whatever, that wouldn't take me as long. But to get like the mustache, fun fact about me, I was born blonde. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not a blonde. Some people say I'm a blonde. I'm not a blonde. Okay. I have brown hair. Let's get that straight. I was born a blonde, naturally turned to brown hair. Uh-huh. Okay.
Is that natural? How do you naturally?
I don't know.
Okay.
It just happened. All of my facial hair is dark brown, except for my mustache. My mustache is half and half. My mustache is half blonde, half brown. I swear.
That's crazy.
I swear.
That really is crazy.
Wow. So it would take a while for me. I'm not a hairy dude. Not a hairy guy.
Yeah, Alex in chat, not keep at your lengths. Short buzz, Leonard Skinner long. If food gets stuck in it, it's not hot too long. What do you think, Kyle?
I think some people can pull it off. You see a guy with a long beard, you know he's probably seen a lot of things.
Yeah, that's valid.
You know?
Wise. Yeah,
man. They are wiser, but they also don't. I don't know. It's weird. Oftentimes they look like wizards. I feel like the wizard or homeless. It's like one of the two. I feel like it's a tough balance.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with not
hot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny. That the one naked faced man said. Naked face Ruby.
It's just envy. It's just envy.
He just wants a beard.
It's just envy. Oh, dude, I'd kill for your guys' beard. I'd kill.
Well, maybe in another life, man.
Can you just take it off and glue it on me?
I can't, man. It's the Middle Eastern Italian combination is a very hairy combo.
Yeah, I think the problem with me is that, I haven't given it enough time to actually see how long it would take to grow.
Yeah.
Because the awkward in between stage for me looks so bad. Like last night, if you go look at I shaved like this morning, right? So if you go look at last night's post game, the awkward in between stage just does not look good at all. So I just don't think I could do that.
BC,
we're getting vulnerable here.
I appreciate BC here. Totri's beard is too well groomed to be mistaken for a homeless person's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, I pay for it, right? The barber, my buddy Leo, man, he just love that guy. Absolutely love that guy. I mean, Kyle's got a really well kept beard.
Yeah, you guys, the beard game is strong. 2 and no beard.
I thought you were going to say with this one, and I was going to go back to your Star Wars.
Apparently, I talk like Yoda sometimes.
Not sometimes, most of the time. Alex, y'all think you'll get post-game interview with our old friend Jalen. Jalen Conyers will be on the PHNX Sun Devils show at some point this week. Probably not post-game, but some point through the week. We'll obviously tease that. So definitely stay locked in PHNX_Sun Devils on social. What's topic number 2, Kyle?
Number 2 is a little specific. So we've got leftover cold pizza. Like you got pizza from a really nice restaurant. It's in your fridge. And you wake up the next day, you're hungry.
I'm interested to see where he goes here.
Is that hot or not? Would
you just eat? You have to eat it cold.
Yeah,
it's hot.
Yeah, no, it's hot as hell, dude. Cold pizza. Cold pizza is better than hot pizza.
Oh no,
I will live on that. No, it is better. It's better for breakfast. It's better for dinner. It's terrible. It's so much. No,
that's your worst take ever.
No, it's not.
I like cold pizza.
It's better.
That's the worst take I've ever heard in my whole life.
Cold pizza is better than hot pizza. And look, there is deep dish is the only pizza for me that is has to be obviously hot. Every other pizza is better cold. We just dropped significantly in viewers after that take. I think absolutely it is better. I think I will take cold pizza over hot pizza any day of the week. And it's not close. It's literally not close.
That's the worst take I've ever heard in my whole life.
Why? Why is it
cold
bad?
Pizza over hot pizza in any scenario but deep dish? I like cold pizza.
Rudy in chat, cold Domino's pizza is nothing better.
You're lucky Max is on vacation. He just starts strangling you.
I read a comment. It's fine.
Dude, no. Terrible take. Terrible take.
Why is it terrible?
It's
you don't have to put it in the microwave.
It's not true.
You don't have to waste a plate.
Yeah,
you don't have to waste napkins. You literally grab it from the box.
I like cold pizza.
Fold it like a taco and eat it. It's great.
You are insane.
No, I'm not.
You're insane.
No, I'm not.
You're insane.
Mm-mm.
Kyle, he's insane. Is he not insane? I like cold pizza.
It's not insane, dude.
No, that's nuts.
That's not insane.
Nuts. Cold pizza, hot. that take, the coldest thing I have ever heard in my entire life. Dude, you go to a pizza restaurant and they go, would you like it hot or cold? Hey, can I have a slice of cheese? Oh yeah, let me just throw it in the oven for you.
You are
Just
such
give it to me right now.
You're such a cheese pizza kind of guy.
No.
Yes.
I do like cheese pizza, but I'm not a picky eater. We've been over this. My palate's way more advanced than yours.
Okay.
Way more.
Calm down.
Way
Advanced.
more.
Calm down.
Way more.
Okay, calm down.
Way more.
Cold
Not
pizza's
even
better.
close.
Cold pizza's better.
No.
Cold pizza's better.
You can't argue for your palate and argue that cold pizza is
Wait, it has nothing to do with the
better.
palate. It tastes the same. It's pizza.
No, it does. It does
Yes,
not
it does.
taste the same.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not. No.
You're right.
No,
it's
it does
better.
not.
It's better.
Next topic.
better.
Next topic.
Totri's
Before I strangle this. We were doing so good. The vibes were so high. Our viewers actually have gone up since we started doing this.
I put a poll in, 11 votes, 82% said no.
Yeah, dude, you're so wrong.
I'll die on that hill. That's fine.
You and 18% of people
Save
are
the cold pizza for me. What's topic number 3?
Number 3,
Bring us home, Captain.
last topic, fast food date. Hot or not?
Okay. So, my parents, their very first date, they went to McDonald's. My dad did the drive-through, all that. Now, granted, they were in high school, but first date, McDonald's drive-through. My mom ordered a grilled cheese from McDonald's, which is just a hamburger. It's a cheeseburger with no burger. They've been married for 20 plus years. Didn't steer them wrong. I'm just throwing that out there. Personally, in 2024, if you want to date somebody, a first date, there's like a 0% chance that you're gonna have success with a fast food date. It's just so slim. So I'm gonna say this is so tough. Oh God.
It's just period, not first date, just fast food date or fast food first date.
We could do first date. It was just date.
It's not hot.
It's gotta be a like
in a vacuum. In a vacuum, it is hot because I think the date is more about the person than it is. I mean, I went on a coffee shop with a first date. You know, like it's not that much better.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like this high and fancy establishment. You know, but it's tough to be like, hey, oh yeah, do you want to meet up? Oh yeah, you want to go out on a date? Oh, where are you taking me? I don't know, Burger King. Like I think in principle, if they're like down and you have a great time, you probably found
does it depend how old you are?
No, I think even if you're like 16, 17, 18, I still
where
feel
are you
like
getting money when you're 16,
but
17, 18?
it's not about the money. I just go to a coffee shop. Like the
okay,
coffee
what
shop.
if they
The
don't
coffee
like
shop.
coffee?
Get a tea. Grow up. I don't like coffee. I got
First date's over. You're like, you don't like coffee? Grow up.
No, dude, it's just like a casual place. Like that's the thing. It's tough. I'm not trying to be like that dude, but I don't think that you can do that anymore.
Scroll up. I want to read. Let's see Taylor's comment. There's a very select group of dudes that have the charisma and entertainment value to pull it off. It is doable, but definitely not recommended for most
fair.
dudes.
That's 100% fair.
That's a great comment for this.
I feel like, I don't think you can go too far on the first. Like, you can't like wow them too much on the first date, right? You can't be like pulling out all the stops, going to a really fancy, nice dinner.
No, there's a balance.
Because then there's so much extra there. You do want to really find out who this person is. Again, first date with my wife was coffee shop, go to a record store, and then just like talk
Record
for
store.
like
You were
5
living
hours.
in the like 70s in your first date, huh? That's crazy.
Listen.
You go get a comic book after that too?
No. Don't be ridiculous.
My goodness, what do you think, Kyle?
First date, no.
First
But
date, no.
I could see pulling it off.
At some point.
Anything is a good date if you have the right person.
Yeah.
There you go.
But first date, you need to figure out if that person's the right person.
I'm gonna say hot. I'm gonna say hot. Like Taylor said, there's very few people that can manage it. I'm not sure I'm somebody that can do it. Shout out my dad though. For being able to pull that off.
I think it's way different high school back then. I think it's way different.
Some people could do it. BC, I thought Erik was like 24.
I'm 25.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Record store? Yeah. You guys not I got vinyl. Do you have vinyls?
I don't. No.
Kyle, do you have vinyls? No. Yeah, they're missing out.
Yeah.
When I graduated high, this is the last thing I'll say. I'm sorry for everybody who's still listening. When I was in high school, I got like a bunch of graduation money,
Mhm.
and I always wanted to get like a record player and vinyls. And one night I was just up and I was like, you know what, man? Like I've worked for a couple of years, I have money saved, I guess got graduation money. I'm gonna drop some cash.
Yeah.
And I spent like $250 in one night on a record player and records, and it was the best decision. I have a whole collection of records now that I don't play nearly enough. But get physical media. That's how we're ending today's show.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe to this, not physical media, but get yourself some physical media. Buy your DVDs, buy your vinyls. Like, I want a tape player. Yeah, I think that'd be sick too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. BC, I'm younger than that. But that is going to do it.
Wait, no, hold up. There was a Texas State fan who was in here who said that we were 40 cosplaying like we were in our 20s.
Yeah.
And I took a little bit of offense to that.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay.
It's a Texas State fan. They don't gotta.
No, we don't have to worry about them anymore.
No,
yeah,
we
notice
don't.
how none of them showed up
Yeah,
last
none
night.
of them showed up. That's tough for them.
But all of you showed up
That's
here, and
tough.
we appreciate you.
Guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devil Show. Again, we really do appreciate everybody hopping in. Also, listening on audio. Again, hit that like button. Drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts, and do what that says on the lower right there. Subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube. We got shows not just for Arizona State. We've got it for the Wildcats. We've obviously got it for the Cardinals, the Suns. We got PHNX hockey. We got
Diamondbacks,
Mercury,
playoffs approaching.
Diamondbacks, so much more, guys. Check it out. Yes.
Southwest Bias is out right now. Just went live. Talking about U of A, Kansas State. That was me, Totri, Redbeard. It was basically another edition of PHNX Sun Devils, but just talking about what happens if the Wildcats lose and what happens if they get blown out.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
check that out. That's something that I do every week in addition to this is Southwest Bias. Always a lot of fun.
Give us a follow at PHNX Sun Devils on social. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You could follow this guy over here, Senor Vinyl, at Erik Ruby.
like that one.
That is Erik with a K. You can follow Captain Redbeard himself at K Coop Sports.
I hadn't done one in a while.
We will see you guys on Monday. But in the meantime, go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.